The House will come to order. Today's Pledge of Allegiance is by Michael Stark, and he's from Montview Elementary in Denver, Colorado, and we're very happy he's here today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic it stands, a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to give you a certificate. Remember and get a picture.
Representatives Arndt, Becker J, Becker K, K Becker,
So I've got milk now. 9:30 to 11, so you might be here for a while.
Excuse.
Beckman, Representative Beckman, Benavides, Bridges, Bridges,
Excuse.
Buck, Buckner, Carver, Catlin, Coleman, Covarrubias, Danielson, Escar, Everett, Everett,
Excuse.
Exum, Foot, Foot,
Excuse.
Garnett, Janal, Gray, Hamner, Hanson, Herod, Herod, Representative K. Becker is present.
Excused.
Putin, Humphrey, Jackson, Kennedy, Kennedy, Representative Bridges is present. Representative Foote is present.
Excused.
Kraft Arp, Landgraf, Lawrence, Lee. Leonard. Lewis. Liston. Lontine. Lundeen. McKean. McLaughlin. Melton. Michelson Janae. Neville. Pabon. Pabon.
Excused.
Pedersen. Rankin. Ransom. Excused. Ryer. Roberts. Rosenthal. Sane. Salazar. Sandridge. Representative Harrod is present. Sias. Singer. Thurlow. Valdez. Van Winkle. Weissman. Willett. Williams. Wilson. Winkler. Winter. Wist. Representative Kennedy is present.
Excused.
Young. Madam Speaker.
Excused.
So I've got Everett, Pavone, Ransom, Wist, and the speaker. Should we mark the speaker?
With 60 present, 5 excused, a quorum is present. Representative Exum.
Good morning, Madam Speaker Pro Tem.
Good morning.
I move that the reading of the Journal of Monday, April 2nd, 2018 be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it today. The motion passes. Announcements and introductions. Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Members, there are no announcements here this morning. Am I the only one that has an announcement today that we need to call down the Capitol Choir? We already have our tenor. We've got our bass. Well, the Capitol Choir, would you please come on down to the well? Guess whose birthday it is today,
No.
members? Yeah, guess.
Who, yours?
No, Representative Weissman.
Yay.
Look at him. Yes. So, Capitol Choir, let's serenade Representative Weissman. We did a pretty good job last time, but let's see if we can do even better today. Are we ready? Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Representative Weissman. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Representative Weissman. Further announcements and introductions. Representative Arndt.
Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Colleagues, tonight the Colorado Corn Growers are going to have a great event, actually this afternoon at 3 p.m. at the Scottish Rite Center on Grant. They're showing a documentary called Food Evolution, and it's a dinner viewing and then dinner, and it's educational, informational, and then we're going to have an open dialogue. Aides and interns are welcome. Popcorn will be served. You should have a flyer on your desk. Thank you. Please come. That was announcement 1. May I have another announcement?
Do you need some attention?
I need another announcement.
Oh, please proceed, Representative Arndt.
Okay, and one more announcement. Don't forget the clothing swap today at 5 near my office right down here by the Supreme Court. The donations are rolling in. It's going to be great.
Thank you, Representative Arndt, for all your hard work. Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Public Healthcare and Human Services Committee. House Bill 1288 will be laid over until next week, so we are going to have a short day today, but we will be hearing one sunset review for action only, and be prepared to pack a lunch and a dinner next week, as we'll be piling up next week. But looking forward to seeing you all at 1:30. We will only be hearing the sunset review. We'll be laying over House Bill 1288.
All right. Further announcements or introductions, Representative Salazar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have an important announcement to make, Madam Speaker.
Okay, hold on one second. Representative Salazar.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. At the beginning of this session, I was quite concerned with this chamber that one of you was coming to the Capitol forgetting your comb. We are 37 days left, and you still have left your comb on my desk. I do not need it, and by the way that we know it's not Representative Listens, but by the way some of you look, you're all suspect. Come get your comb. Thank you.
I got everybody's attention for that announcement. Further announcements and introductions. Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. How can I beat that one? Health Insurance and Environment will meet upon adjournment today in room 107, and we will be hearing 2 bills, Senate Bill 132 and House Bill 1300. So right after we get off the floor this morning. Thank you.
All right. Further announcements or introductions? Any further announcements or introductions? Going once. Further announcements or introductions? And members, can we please have your attention? Members. Representative Weissman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was going to ask for a moment of personal privilege.
A moment of personal privilege is granted.
Thank you. Members, I wanted to share a little birthday anecdote of sorts. So, we're in an interesting part of the calendar in spring. It's when some of the major holidays of multiple different faith traditions that make up our country overlap. We've just come through Easter, which raises themes of sacrifice and renewal and rebirth, and we are in Passover, which invokes the theme of the struggle to survive and the flight from oppression into freedom. And I think those are very relevant for what we do here. I've often thought about the overlap of these themes because both of these faith traditions are part of my own heritage. I have 2 Jewish grandparents, I have 1 Irish Catholic grandfather, and I have a Protestant grandmother from a family that's been in New England for a long time. And I think about the overlap even more so because of the timing of my birthday, and here we are today, and just through quirks of the calendar, my birthday is intersected with one or the other of these holidays many times in my life. And a couple days after I was born in '77, my grandfather on my dad's side wrote the following note to my parents, although I didn't find out about this till many years after. On the first day of Passover was born Michael James. It also happened to be Palm Sunday. Any boy who can pick him like that is sure to turn out a diplomat. Now, that's a lot to live up to, but my grandfather came to this country as an immigrant when he was about 4. He worked himself up from nothing. He went through college. He went through medical school. He briefly served in World War II. He raised 3 kids in the shadow of the Cold War, and he became a successful family doctor. So I think by the time he was 70, he had earned the right to have some expectations of his firstborn grandchild, and that was me. So that's a little bit personal, but you know, I mention that now because we've just come through a difficult week. Budget week is always difficult, and we have some difficult matters in front of us. So I think striving for diplomacy is actually a good goal for all of us here in what we do, and especially now, I think especially in this season in which we find ourselves, taking on tough issues in an era when, you know, people doubt the veracity and maybe even the validity of representative government. Last Thursday, after we had been here until midnight the night before, I was over in the kitchen speaking with somebody who works here. And she asked how I was doing, and I said, oh, you know, I'm pretty tired. I'm on a couple hours of sleep. She said, you know, it could be worse, right? And of course, she was right. I think on our worst day here, it could be worse for us because the reality is, whatever party, whatever district we're from, we are all quite lucky and privileged to be here, to have these on, to be there, to sit here. We're lucky to be here, and I just think it's worth remembering that. I think it's worth remembering that every day, somewhere in Colorado, it's Easter or Passover for someone in the figurative sense, because somewhere in our state, somebody is sacrificing, you know, for their kids or for their parents. Somebody is trying to achieve renewal after tough circumstances. Somebody is trying to survive, and somebody is struggling to escape oppression and attain freedom. And I think it is in the spirit of all of those that we are here and that we do what we do every day. And I think we have 43 days left today. I hope that we can all remember that and maybe even on our best days, attain to the level of a diplomat as we do so. So, thanks for listening.
Happy birthday, Representative Weissman. Further announcements or introductions?
This group doesn't have any more further announcements or introductions? Okay. Seeing no further announcements that's what I thought. Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I'm sorry, I'm just not fast enough to get down here. Members of Appropriations, if you haven't noticed the calendar for today, look on page 13, and you will see that we have appropriations this Friday, 8 o'clock, LSB-A. And how many of you think you have a bill in appropriations? Oh, well, there's more bills on the list than there are hands that are up, so you might want to check the list to make sure your bill is either on there or not on there. I'll see you on Friday. Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem.
Thank you, Representative Young. Any further announcements or introductions? Okay, seeing none. Do we have any further business this morning? Okay.
Yeah? Okay, perfect. All right, that takes us to third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 106.
Senate Bill 106 by Senator Tate, House of Representatives Thurlow, concerning obsolete statutory provisions related to local governments pledging sales or use tax revenues for pay for revenue bonds issued for the purpose of financing capital improvements.
Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 106 on third reading and final passage.
All right, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 106 on third reading and final passage. Members, we are in third reading. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 62 yes votes, 2 no votes, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 106 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 110.
Senate Bill 110 by Senator Tate, House of Representatives Warren, concerning the repeal of the requirement that each state agency annually report the amount of federal money received in the prior fiscal year.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 110 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 110 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote.
Your grandson is so cute. I was going to say, he can come and hang out here. Keep me company. I'm sure he's adorable. How old is he?
Please close the machine. With 41 yes votes, 23 no votes, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 110 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 127.
Senate Bill 127 by Senator Martinez Dominic, House of Representatives Thurlow, concerning the repeal of the Department of Revenue's requirement to publish an historical explanation of the income tax rate modifications enacted in the state on every income tax return form.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 127 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 127 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Beckman. Please close the machine. With 61 yes votes, 3 no votes, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 127 is passed. Co-sponsors.
You still do that trivia thing?
Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 129.
Senate Bill 129 by Senator Reno, Service of Mark, concerning the subsidiary organization law exempting from state sales tax certain drugs, medical and therapeutic devices.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 129 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 129 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative, all right, please close the machine. With 59 yes votes, 5 no votes, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 129 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1264.
House Bill 1264 by Representatives Jackson and Carver, House Senators Cook and Fields, concerning measures to clarify the scope of revenge porn and criminal offenses.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1264 on third reading and final passage.
Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1264 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please. Close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1305.
House Bill 1305 by Representatives Coleman and Neville, Senator Neville, concerning a voluntary contribution designation benefiting the Young American Center for Financial Education Fund that appears on state individual tax return forms.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1305 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of House Bill 1305 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Humphrey. Please close the machine. With 60 yes votes, 4 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1305 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. All right. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 26.
Senate Bill 26 by Senator Kagan, also Representative Parrott and Willie, concerning measures to make sex offender registration more effective.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 26 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 26 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 26 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 172.
Senate Bill 172 by Senator Gardner, also Representative Lee, concerning testing of horse racing licensees for the presence of prohibited substances.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Sorry about that, Madam Speaker. I
okay.
move for the passage of Senate Bill 172 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us, the passage of Senate Bill 172 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Beckman. Please close the machine. With 52 yes votes, 12 no votes, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 172 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1257.
House Bill 1257 by Representative Rosenthal and Senator Cook, concerning incursion to House Bill 161316 by reinserting the word not.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1257 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1257 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. This is not second reading. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1257 is passed. Co-sponsors. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1308.
House Bill 1308, Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Becker J. House Senators Hill and Kagan, concerning exemption from the Workers' Compensation Act of Colorado for non-resident employers whose employees are temporarily working in Colorado.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1308 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of House Bill 1308 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1308 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 161.
Senate Bill 161 by Senator Small, Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Landgraf, concerning appeal to the Behavioral Health Transformation Council.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 161 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 161 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, Senate Bill 161 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Ms. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1274.
House Bill 1274 by Representatives Becker, Kane, Bridges, all Senator Kerr, concerning a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions in Colorado in connection with requiring that by the year 2050, statewide greenhouse gas emissions be reduced by 80% of levels of the greenhouse gas emissions that exist in the year 2005.
Assistant Majority Leader Gurnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1274 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of House Bill 1274 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine. Members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 36 yes votes, 28 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1274 is passed. Co-sponsors. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 126.
Senate Bill 126 by Senators Grantham and Guzman, also Representatives Pabon and Van Winkler, concerning definition of traditional, large, and premium cigar for purposes of the excess tax on tobacco products.
Assistant Majority Leader Gurnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 126 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 126 on third reading and final passage. Representative Liston.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, we had a real busy day yesterday on second readings, and literally a lot of these bills were just flying through the chamber, as some of us recall. And with all due respect to my colleagues that sponsored Senate Bill 126, I don't think we really had a real discussion. And so I don't mean to light things up, but I know that was a bad pun. But I couldn't resist it. But anyways, I did want to come down. I heard this bill in, I believe it was Business Affairs, and it sounded, at first blush, it sounded like it was a good bill, but there really is industry opposition to this. There is no set platform that the industry has agreed upon this. And I listened to both sides and just wanted to come down and just mention a couple, 3 points that, like I say, number one, that the industry itself is not in total agreement as to how cigars should be regulated in this case. That this legislation has been proposed from just a small contingent of the cigar industry, and also that this bill is really picking winners and losers, which I think a lot of people, we don't think we should be in that business. So with all due respect to my good colleagues on this, I would urge a no vote on Senate Bill 126. So thank you very much.
Any further discussion? Representative Winkler. Welcome to the well.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is also not my intention for my first trip to the well to be on a third reading, but being new, I was just given some information this morning. I want to echo what was just testified, but also the three largest organizations, the Cigar Association of America, the largest tobacco manufacturer in America, and the largest cigar manufacturer in America are against this. To use one of the proponents' language for the bill, he said, I believe that He's never sponsored something that has been so simple and sort of a do-nothing bill, just to simply categorize. And if it's simply a do-nothing bill, then why is there such opposition to it from the largest manufacturers of these products in America? So I believe everything else was covered, and I urge a no vote. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, members, I am disappointed that this bill was on second reading yesterday and we didn't have a more thorough discussion, because I think every bill deserves that. And I think we had that when Representative Pabon, my noble colleague, and I presented the bill. Members, this bill, it's not that it does nothing. It's very important. We add definitions to statute all the time. We change definitions in statute all the time. This is a simple definition for premium large cigars. It does not raise taxes or lower taxes. We can't do that, members. That's in our Constitution. Amendment 35 was passed by the voters, and I have no intention of changing that this year or in the future. That's said in the Constitution. It does not change tax policy. Members, thank you for your time here on third reading. Please vote yes.
Further discussion? Time for a drink of water. Further discussion? Seeing none. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 25 yes votes, 39 no votes, Senate Bill 126 is lost. Taking us now to House Bill 1268. Mr. Randall, please read the title.
House Bill 1268, Representative Gray, Senator Gardner, concerning the procedures to recall the director of a special district.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1268 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1268 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote.
Judy.
Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 2 excused, House Bill 1268 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Ms. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1265.
House Bill 1265 by Representatives Lantini, Beckman, Nelson, and Crowder, concerning continuation stroke advisory board in accordance with the recommendation of the Part of the other Trades 2017 Sunset Report.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1265 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1265 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 44 yes votes, 19 no votes, and 2 excused, House Bill 1265 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 136.
Senate Bill 136 by Senator Neville, also Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Sias, concerning fees for advising clients about the selection of an individual health benefit plan.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 136 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 136 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 2 excused, Senate Bill 136 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 149.
Senate Bill 149 by Senator Gardner, also Representatives Gray and Harry, concerning records of the Board of Directors of the Denver Health and Hospital Authority.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 149 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 149 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Landgraf. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 2 excused, Senate Bill 149 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of HCR 1001.
House Concurrent Resolution 1001 by Representatives Lee and Wist, all Senators Cord and Gardner, submitting to the registered electors of the state of Colorado an amendment to the Colorado Constitution concerning a change in the format of the election ballot for judicial retention elections.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of HCR 1001 on third reading and final passage.
Ms. Randall, please open the machine. Members, please proceed to vote. Members, this does require a 2/3 vote to pass. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 2 excused, HCR 1001 is passed. Co-sponsors.
Be worse.
Please close the machine. Ms. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 184.
Senate Bill 184 by Senator Quorum, also Representatives McKean and Escar, concerning new permit for the short-term extraction of construction materials.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 184 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 184 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Pabon. Please close the machine. With 61 yes votes, 2 no votes, and 2 excused, Senate Bill 184 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1277.
House Bill 1277 by Representative Baker Jane Escar, Senator Baumgartner Falls, concerning an requirement that an application for the Building X School State Act grant financial assistance for public school capital construction include a plan for the use or disposition of any existing public school facility that the applicant will stop using or current use if it receives a grant.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1277 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is passage of House Bill 1277 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Landgraf and Sandridge, please vote. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 2 excused, House Bill 1277 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 11.
Senate Bill 11 by Senators Holbert and Kerr, also Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Lundin, concerning treatment of students who are excused by their parents from participating in state assessments.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 11 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is passage of Senate Bill 11 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Madam Majority Leader. Please close the machine. With 54 yes votes, 9 no votes, and 2 excused, Senate Bill 11 is passed. Co-sponsors. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Ms. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 183.
Senate Bill 183 by Senator Tate, also Representatives Martin Liston, concerning authorizing agencies insurers to access the electronic system that ensures access for follower and lien holder information of a motor vehicle.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 183 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 183 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Janal. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 2 excused, Senate Bill 183 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of Senate Bill 174.
Senate Bill 174 by Senator Gardner, also was highest concerning liability and needs to provide services to persons with developmental disabilities in residential settings.
Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 174 on third reading and final passage.
Question before us is passage of Senate Bill 174 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 0 no votes, 2 excused, Senate Bill 174 is passed. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. All right. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for the consideration of Senate amendments to House bills.
All right, taking no objection, we'll proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1056.
House Bill 1056, Representatives Van Winkle and Williams, also Senator Cook, concerning a statewide standard health history form that members of the Fire Police Pension Association complete when commencing employment.
Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that we conform with Senate amendments to this House bill.
Concur.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Usually the Senate doesn't mess with my bills.
Any further discussion? Representative Williams, would you like to add anything?
Sure, Madam Speaker. Really, what this is we're giving the Senate the opportunity to follow our lead. In the House, we had a pretty good amendment, and the Senate thought that was such a great idea, they decided to take our amendment and our language and put it in another section. So we're really concurring with ourselves and allowing them the ability to follow us. So please vote yes.
Further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is whether we concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1056. Mr. Randall. Oh. Further discussion, Representative Janal.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. And I guess I need a little bit more clarification on this, because what I'm reading here is that it takes away the survivor benefits, or they'll be ineligible for survivor benefits, and I don't believe that that was what we wanted to do with this bill. Can you further explain this? Will it take away a spouse or dependent children surviving benefits?
Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And the answer is no. All the Senate did was add some language which is in a different part of section into matching that survival benefit. So the survival benefits don't change. It just confirms. So if the underlying injury or something is a pre-existing and permanent medical condition which caused it, so it's unrelated completely to their work of their spouse, that language already is in law for the spouse, or for the person that is injured or killed. This just takes it and applies it to the spousal benefits as well. So it should not change anything from current.
Further discussion, Representative Esker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Representative Van Winkle, the confusion we're getting is on page 4 of the revised version, lines 3 through 7. You're saying that that's existing language, but then we also have result of a pre-existing and permanent being added to existing language. That's where we're getting confused on what exactly was changed with the benefits.
Representative Weissman.
Thank you. And members, we heard this bill long ago in State Affairs, and then it went over to the Senate, and it comes back to us. And I've spent pretty significant time on this issue, and I took a close look at the Senate version as it comes back to us. What the Senate did is what you heard before. The language on page 4 of the re-revised version is, in fact, essentially replicating into another section of statute language that we worked on and agreed to in House committee here. Essentially, the way the statute is set up is there's a set of sections that concerns to the individuals, police or firefighters, and then there are separate sections that pertain to their successors in interest. We addressed the first section The second section was not in the four corners of the bill. It was identified in the Senate. It was amended in conformity with what we had already done. I actually believe that adding the qualifiers, permanent and pre-existing, to medical condition are protective of individuals who may be next in interest of FPPA beneficiaries here. So I think that what the Senate did is reasonable, and I would encourage our concurrence with the Senate amendments.
Representative Winkle, further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is whether to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1056. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1056 is passed. Co-sponsors. Oh, yes, that's right. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1056 as amended.
The question before us is repassage of House Bill 1056 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1056 is repassed as amended. Now, co-sponsors. Please close the machine. All right, Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1078.
House Bill 1078, Representatives Landgraf and Exum, Senator Garner, concerning court programs for defendants who have served in the armed forces.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Senate, so brash, so bold, so very, very old. They deliberate and meditate. We wait and we anticipate. Although they are long-winded, their change is often irrelevant. Disagreeing would be futile, like arguing with an elephant. Conference committee, not worth it. No point in going there. We won't argue with the Senate. We'll just accept their small amendment.
Whoa. Representative Exum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We move to concur with the Senate amendments. The bill actually stays pretty intact to help our veterans in Veterans Court.
Okay. Motion before us is to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1078. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Pabon. Please close the machine. With 63 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 1 excuse, a motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1078 is passed. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1078 as amended.
Question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1078 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 60 yes votes, 4 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1078 is passed. Co-sponsors. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1191.
House Bill 1191, by Representative Winter, House Senator Martinez, and Dominican Cavallis, concerning a local authority's ability to alter speed limits within the local authority's jurisdiction.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that we concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1191.
The question before us is to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1191. Would you like to tell us why?
This bill was designed to give local governments more control in setting safe speed limits, and the Senate decided to limit that to residential areas, which we thought was a good idea, so I urge a yes vote.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is motion to concur with Senate amendments. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Hooton. Please close the machine. With 41 yes votes, 23 no votes, and 1 excuse, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1191 is passed. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1191 as amended.
For the repassage of House Bill 1191 as amended is a motion before us. Mr. Randall, please open the machine. Members, please proceed to vote. Representative Janal and Representative Hooton. Please close the machine. With 37 yes votes, 27 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1191 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1047.
House Bill 1047, Bruce Valentino, House Senator Gardner, concerning technical modifications to the Fair Campaign Practices Act to facilitate its administration.
Representative Lantine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to concur with the Senate amendments to House Bill 1047.
Properly moved. Would you like to tell us why?
Sure. It changed, made changes in the bill to apply only to campaign finance complaints in cases that occur after the law takes effect. And this way we can be confident that this in no way influences the outcome of an ongoing case or complaint.
All right. Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I do agree with this. We heard this bill in State Affairs on 2 different occasions, and I do agree with this amendment because it doesn't make the bill retroactive, which helps clarify that. But there are some other amendments that didn't get put on this bill that should have. This bill still excludes now law firms from being able to report LLPs, and that was a change in the definition. It also gives the Secretary of State more discretion in being able to collect some of these fines and penalties that have been put on by the administrative court, some of which was good, but some gives a little bit too much discretion. And then finally, the legal expenses, there's I think a loophole that's created here because legal expenses that are used to defend in campaign finance cases are now going to be excluded as contributions, so they don't have to be disclosed. And I think that opens up a larger gray area for legal expenses and contributions. And so the amendment I would concur with, but the bill, unfortunately, probably creates more trouble than it seeks to remedy. So I'd be a no on the bill. Thank you.
Further discussion? Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I encourage a yes vote on concurrence and a yes vote on the bill. I think with the Senate amendments, we got rid of anything that might be restrictive on current cases that are currently going through the Senate amendment. I think that's a good thing. But the bill itself actually allows an attorney or someone to work for someone pro bono. I think prohibiting that is bad practice, and that's why I'm in favor of the bill. I think this is a freedom aspect and that attorneys should be able to work pro bono for clients. So I urge a yes vote on both.
Question before us is motion to concur with Senate amendments. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Ransom and Representative Wilson. Representative Wilson. All right, please close the machine. With 64 yes votes and 0 no votes and 1 excuse, motion to concur with Senate amendment to House Bill 1047 is passed. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1047 as amended.
The question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1047 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Beckman. Please close the machine. With 53 yes votes, 11 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1047 is repassed as amended. Representative Beckman, that'll be $2. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1227.
House Bill 1227, Representatives Harrod and West, Senator Cook, concerning the authority of the Real Estate Commission to issue license for an initial period of less than 3 years.
Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House concur with Senate amendments.
Okay, properly moved. Would you like to tell us why? Assistant Minority Leader West.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In their infinite wisdom, our colleagues in the Senate did a minor amendment that relates to the reissue criteria. We agree with the amendment and ask for an aye vote.
All right, Mr. Randall, please. Did you have anything else to add, Representative Harrod? No. Okay. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Rosenthal. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, the motion to concur with Senate Amendment to House Bill 1227 is passed. Representative Rosenthal, there'll be a $2 fine. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1227 as amended.
Question before us is repassage of House Bill 1227 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Hooton, Representative Lantine. Please close the machine. House Bill 1227 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1018.
House Bill 1018, Representatives Carver and Jackson, Senators Zenzinger and Cook, concerning a requirement that education to prevent human trafficking be included in the training to obtain a commercial driver's license.
Representative Jackson and Representative Carver. Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1018.
Would you like to tell us why? Representative
Carver. Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Senate made some minor changes. They dropped the requirement that the information be published. They streamlined some other sections, and we would urge a concurrence to the Senate changes.
All right, seeing no further discussion, Mr. Randall, please open the machine. Members, please proceed to vote. This is a motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1018. Representative Benavides and Representative Garnett. Please close the machine. With 55 yes votes, 9 no votes, and 1 excuse, the motion concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1018 is passed. Would somebody like to make a motion to repass House Bill 1018 as amended? Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1018 as amended.
The question before us is repassage of House Bill 1018 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Buck. Please close the machine. With 46 yes votes, 18 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1018 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1242.
House Bill 1242 by Representatives Baker, Kane, Valdez, also known as Crowder, and Baumgartner, concerning the salary categorization of locally elected officers in specified counties.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We concur.
I move to concur.
I move to concur
With the
Senate amendments.
with Senate amendments on House Bill 1242.
Okay, properly moved. Further discussion? Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Senate, after the bill left the House, Sedgwick County stepped up and said they want to actually go down a category for their county salaries. So they were added to the bill to give them greater flexibility to pay less to their county commissioners. So this, the Senate added that amendment in, and we ask for your support.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I just want to shout out to the kids up in the gallery.
Question before us is the passage of the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1242. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. That would probably be $1 fine, right? And Representative Valdez, that will be $1 fine. Representative Arndt, Representative Jackson. Please close the machine. With 57 yes votes, 7 no votes, and 1 excuse, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1242 is passed. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1242 as amended.
All right, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1242 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 44 yes votes, 20 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1242 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1254.
House Bill 1254 by Representative Van Winkle, Senator Small, concerning modification of foreclosure process on properties encumbered by a deed of trust.
All right, last one. Representative Van Winkle.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House concur with Senate amendments to this House bill.
All right, would you like to tell us why?
Yes, members, if you recall, this bill is a long time coming, long stakeholder process between the Bar Association, mortgage lenders, financial institutions, clerks, and very importantly, the assessors of Colorado. And what the Senate did is they found a paragraph that was somewhat vague and tightened it up, made it much more clear.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, The question before us is motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1254. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, the motion to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1254 is passed. Madam Majority Leader Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1254 as amended.
Question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1254 as amended. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please proceed to vote. Representative Janal, Representative Kraft-Tharp. Please close the machine. With 64 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 1 excuse, House Bill 1254 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors.
Thank you, Representative Edge.
Please close the machine. All right, announcements and introductions. Nice work, everyone, today. Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Health Insurance and Environment, please come down to room 107 immediately. Please. We have 2 bills to cover and a short time to cover it. Thank you.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As you can see on your desk today, we have these wonderful pinwheels provided to us in honor of Child Abuse Prevention Month. And I will not belabor the point today because we will be doing a tribute hopefully later on in the month. But keep your pinwheels with you and we'll put them to good use.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Beckman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Just a reminder that the Legislative Caucus on Aging will be meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, April 4th at 12 p.m. in Colorado State Capitol, this building in 357. They're going to be talking about the senior exemption, so I hope you all show up and hear what the Fiscal Policy Center is going to say about that. Join us.
All right, Representative Lawrence.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. I'm going to be so sad to not see you on Friday, but I have been excused for Friday. So you guys have fun. I'll have a 3-day weekend.
Oh, goodness. Representative Kraft-Tharp.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Business Affairs and Labor Committee will be hearing one bill today. That's House Bill 1317. Please don't be late because this is going to be pretty fast and you might miss the whole thing. Thank you.
All right, further announcements or introductions? Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Notice to the Judiciary Committee, the 171 is off the calendar as we announced yesterday, and this morning we're going to flip the order of the 2 bills, 68 and 180. 180 will go first and 68 will go second. Thank you.
Further announcements or introductions? Any further announcements or introductions? Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar.
All right, seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over. Assistant Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the House to stand in recess until 1 o'clock today.
All right, seeing no objection, the House will stand in recess until 1 p.m. today.